This is the Kitchen Sink WP Podcast, episode 487.
I program my home computer.
We have a server crash, 404 error, page not found, links aren't working, system is crashing, system is crashing, system is crashing.
Your old HTML website, barely alive. We have the technology. We have WordPress. A new website, better than it was before. Better, stronger, faster. Why, hello everybody, this is Adam Silver, the host of the Kitchen Sink WP Podcast. Thanks for being here. Let's get started. All right, upcoming events. One, WordCamp next weekend. WordCamp Leipzig in Germany, July 1st. I think that's how you say that. Yep, I'm going to go with that, Leipzig. It's Leipzig, Leipzig. Sounded good. All right, so if you're in the in the country of Germany, go. Okay, moving on. Segment 1, in the news. A couple of things to talk about here. Actually, just one, I think. Yeah, just one. Automatic donated 20,000 euros to fund the next phase of Drupal Gutenberg development. So that's kind of crazy. I didn't know that was a thing, but that's pretty cool, I guess. So Drupal Gutenberg, the Gutenberg module for Drupal, it was created by a Norway-based agency called Frontcom, has received 20,000 euros, a donation to fund the next phase of development. So cool. I will put a link to a couple of those things in the show notes if you're interested in reading more about that. I tested Drupal, I think it was like a year and a half ago, in regards to just other things, other CMSs. And it was interesting and not easy, if I recall. But people use it. It's out there. So, all right. So that's it in the news. Yeah, that's it for the news. Moving on, segment 2, the meat and potatoes of this week's episode. It is been 8 weeks, so it's time for listener Q&A. Have a handful of questions this time around, which is awesome. So we'll start off with this one by Sally. Can I use a design I made as a subcontractor for my own portfolio? Well, Sally, I'm no lawyer, but the short answer is not what you think I'm going to say. It's actually yes. Yes, you can. But wait, there's more. Unless there are explicit contractual restrictions preventing you from doing so. Sounds very legalese. So keep that in mind. If you were hired by the web agency rather by the direct client, there might be some considerations to keep in mind. And those factors are there's 3 of them that I want you to kind of consider. First and foremost, review your contract. Do you have a contract? Is it written? If so, then you're going to want to carefully examine the terms of that contract with the web agency. Maybe look for clauses related to confidentiality, intellectual property rights, or portfolio usage, because these clauses may specify whether you can showcase the work on your portfolio or if you need to obtain permission from the agency or even the end client. So yeah, a lot of times I know a lot of people sign contracts almost willy-nilly with full trust. And I did this way back in the day. No, I didn't do this. I pushed back on a potential NDA or a contract that I couldn't build other e-commerce sites for this, whatever it was. And it was terrible. And once they pulled out this contract, I had my lawyer look at it. I'm not going to just sign things willy-nilly. Maybe it's because I am the son of a lawyer and I just have more hesitation there. But nonetheless, so review the contract. Number 2, seek permission. Now, if you have a contract, it doesn't explicitly address the portfolio usage, it's a good idea to reach out to the web agency, ask for permission to include it. You can explain your intentions, assure them you're going to give proper credit to the agency, but that you built it. You want to explain that altogether. So you can ask permission. And number 3, anonymize or generalize the work. If you do encounter restrictions or concerns about displaying the project, you could consider making it anonymous or generalizing certain aspects, replace any proprietary information, certain industry reference points. So so you can kind of make it a little bit more general, if that makes more sense. So things to consider there, but I would say yes. You could also go with the option of ask for forgiveness instead of permission, but again, your mileage may vary on that. So, all right, good question. Love that one. Okay, moving on. Second question here. Pull requests. What are they? How do I do them? Why? Oh, no. Yeah, just pull requests. What are they? And some other stuff here. I don't know who sent this in. There's no name. So, okay. So in software development, a pull request, a PR, it's a common practice used for version controls like Git to propose changes to a code base. It's very often associated with working in collaborative environments and workflows. So that way, especially in open source like WordPress, that way people can work on multiple things at once. Many people can work on the same project, but different pieces of it, I guess is the way to say that. So that said, there are a couple key terms you might want to become familiar with, whoever sent this in. Number one is forking the repository. So it's a fork. When you want to contribute to the project, you create a personal copy, you fork it off of the original. This allows you to make changes without directly affecting the original code base. Okay. Number two is creating a branch. If you're a forked repo, you create a new branch to isolate your changes. Okay, this helps you keep your modifications separate from the main code base, and it's easier to then manage and collaborate. And number three, a commit or pushing. Once you're satisfied with your changes, you commit them to your branch, create a new commit version, control history, and then you can commit that to the forked repository. So it's a bit confusing until you start doing it. And I still get confused. And if you all remember, if you listen to the show long enough, I still own a domain to where I wanted to kind of go through this called gidiot.com. I should work on that maybe. I almost forgot until I said it right now. I still own that, I believe. So anyway, all right. So there you have it. A basic pull request is it's a PR. You're taking a copy of a code base and then, as a fork, and then you are going to then branch a piece of what you want to work on and then send it back up the line, if you will. So, okay. I think that answers it pretty easily. Whoever sent that in, I don't know. No name. All right, moving on. Another question. This one's by Carl V. Is Universal Analytics really going away? Yes, it is. Actually, soon. Next week, July 1st. I double-checked. UA is being phased out. This is from Google's website in favor of GA4, which I've talked about. GA4 is the next generation of analytics, offers more advanced tracking and measurements capabilities and compared to UA. Now, that said, I did see some fine print saying that the GA and that the UA will still stick around, but it'll be phased out pretty quickly. So if you haven't moved over, you're going to need to, especially if you have things with UTMs, Universal Tag Managers, if you're doing some type of tracking of conversions of ads with Universal Analytics, you're going to want to get that moved over. And from what I understand, for some people, it's a pain in the butt. In my case, for my sites, not that big of a deal. Did most of them already. So yeah. All right. Hope that helps you out there, Carl V. This one is sent in by Andy. Do you have a WP-based trouble ticket system you like? Nothing fancy, just an email. Well, Andy, I used to use one. I tested one out a long time ago internally. I think it was actually just WP Help Desk, I think is what it was. But I opted to separate it from the site because I don't remember why. I just didn't like I don't remember exactly why I segmented it. But that said, I went to Help Scout back then. And it worked out just fine, but then the pricing increased, and for me to get what I needed for my team was just not worth it. So I found and landed over at Freshdesk on their free level, and it works great. I have an email forwarder for the agency it's support at. It goes to the Freshdesk account automatically, and then someone on my team or myself, we see it, assign it to somebody, and it's just like email back and forth. But it's one ticket per request is how we always tell clients. We continually re-educate clients this way. But I use Freshdesk. So there you go. All right. And lastly, this one's sent in by a longtime listener of the show. Kyle Maurer sends in, hey, I've been away from WordPress. What's new? Should I come back? Well, nothing's really new, Kyle. Wait. There is something new. I was going to add. No, now that I'm thinking about it, no, nothing new, nothing at all. So, stay away. No, I'm kidding. Kyle, you are always welcome back into the WordPress community. We miss you, but, there's so many new things, so much. But are you missing much? I don't know. It's up to you. But you're welcome to come back on this podcast if you want. I mean, last time we heard your voice was when you interviewed me and hijacked my show when I surprised you at your office in Jackson, Michigan, a couple months back. Well, it's been like 5 months ago. Anyway, so yeah, nothing too new. All right. That's it for this week on Q&A. Moving on to segment 3, tip and tool of the week. This week's tip is a website called EveryAlt, EveryAlt. Instantly generate accurate alternate texts for every image. I believe it's a plugin, or is it a plugin or is it a service? I heard about this on Twitter. I saw this. It's a plugin. Yes, there's a plugin. So, and I think it's free as well. So check that out. EveryAlt.com. So there you go. Check that out. I have no connection to them. Just saw someone tweet about it. Looked interesting to me, and I'm going to check it out myself. All right. Well, that is it for this week. If you have any questions, go ahead, send it in via email, adam@KitchensinkWP.com, and I'll save them for 8 weeks from now and use them then. Or you can use the speak pipe function on the website. I'd really like to have your voice on the show. It's up to you. If you want to support the show, you can do that. Become a Patreon, KitchensinkWP.com/Patreon. You can sponsor the show. There's a form on the website for that. Thanks for listening. See you next week. Now go out and do some awesome things with WordPress. All right? Bye-bye.